Hey, sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to the B-Ball Breakdown live show coming at you on a Monday evening this time. We're waiting for Combo, so he should be here in a second. But thanks for all for being here. We're trying to get some of the bugs out. Sorry if you were here a minute ago and it was not working, but here comes Combo. What's up, Combo? We can't hear you, of course, but then you hit that button and we'll hear you. You'll not be muted. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about. We are on the eve of the opening night, and I know you can do it, Combo. There's a button there, and it's a button that looks like a mic, and you just press it, and so it's not red.
It's on. It's on.
Arrow. There you go.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, it was on, but then I turned it off to turn it back on, and now we're on. But go ahead, though, man.
All right. Well, either way, at some point, these bugs, I suppose, will get fixed. But let's talk about some stuff, shall we? I was going to try and even share my screen to show you guys a interview that we saw from Karl Anthony Towns, I believe was today, and it was kind of revealing. So let's see if we can make this work because I have it all set up and I have the video. So can you? Let's see here. Let's do this. Enter. Oh, well, now I don't see it. Can you see anything?
Nope, just me and you.
Let's try that again. Screen share. Wow. Share. Okay. Why did that have to do that? Now, can you see it now?
Yes.
Here's what Karl Anthony said earlier, what I saw today on Twitter.
What do you see as the
And look at his face while they're asking what do you think his role in the offense is going to be.
amongst different areas?
I think that's kind of telling.
On this great
It's
last
not easy to hear the guy. That's what he's saying.
So, in this walk.
Can you hear anything, Combo, yet?
I can't hear his exact question, but
Honestly, I don't know. But we figuring it out. I said, but honestly, I just don't know.
Do you think the speed or anything lends itself to you being able to maybe do different
So
things?
he's still asking him about, what about how you're going to exist in the offense?
It's just different. It's different. So we still figuring it out.
Okay. So that's not really a great answer if you ask me, as far as how somebody would say, because generally you'd say, oh, it's working, it's smooth, we're working on it, whatever. But did you get the sense that he sort of literally doesn't know what his role is going to be in the offense?
yes, most definitely. That's what it seems like. And it's not a good time to be hearing comments like that because I kept hearing, and I was the only one saying it, Jalen Brunson really harp on this is going to be a long journey. Everybody thought it was just maybe like a PC answer, but I think I read into it a little bit more, and I was looking at his body language, and something didn't feel right to me. And this kind of coincides with that. So we're obviously seeing it now. It's apparent that something's going on there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's terrible. I know it's a new coach, a new system. People have to figure it out. Mikal Bridges actually looks great in the preseason in this system. So at some point, I think somebody's going to have to sacrifice out of the 4 stars. They got like 4-star players, and some of them are going to have to sacrifice. There's just not enough basketballs at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's interesting to me is that obviously it's a new coach, new offense. So all that makes sense. It's going to be a little bit rough or they can't quite get all on the same page. Cat hasn't played for a couple of games either. So when you looked at like the Minnesota game and going through it, what's different? He said it's different. Well, he's playing out of the corner a lot. The danger with a player like Brunson, though, is that you'll be in the corner and you'll end in the corner. You'll start in the corner, you'll end in the corner, and you'll never see the ball because they're doing all sorts of stuff on the weak side. They're doing an exchange on top with Bridges and Brunson, which I'm not even ecstatic about. I did a breakdown of that, and I showed that it wasn't like that, devastating the defense yet. But they're still running high post action with Mitchell Robinson. And I'm wondering if Mike Brown, he's coming in there, he's trying to keep all the smooth sailing and not getting anyone's toes. I don't know what, but as a result, he's making Cat upset, it looks like, because he's not getting those high post touches. And he should be. That's the guy you want. And I thought for sure after a couple of games in the preseason, they would go away from that and figure out that Robinson should be in the dunker spot and should be rolling, getting out of the way of anything else. And it's still not that way. And if you're going to be in the corner in this offense, the way Mike Brown's ran it in Sacramento and stuff, then you're not gonna be like a role player. You're not gonna be a star like Cat's used to.
I don't know if I was talking to you or one of my NBA friends, but they were telling me how Danny Ainge was saying that only 2 years out of his whole NBA career he was happy with his role, and that's most NBA players. unless you're a star. So, I mean, there is always going to be some kind of sacrifice, but as your second option, you want Cat to be more involved in the offense for sure. And he's an all-star level player.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and listen, it's one thing not to be happy with your role and complain and whatever, be a prima, but it's another about being this, a really great offensive player and kind of being marginalized and not getting touches. Like that's got to be something different. So before we get going, let's see. We have hey Martin, what's going on? Great to see you. And that works at least pretty well in playback. I can see that. And we have our first super chat. So I think we should just get to that out of the way. So I'm gonna hit the button. Now I'm forgetting how I put this on the screen. How did I do it? What did I do? Why is it not giving me an option? Combo, help me here. Do you see it?
Well, I could click it. I don't know.
I thought maybe I clicked it and it would show me, but it's not doing it now. All righty. There's got to be somewhere. Oh, here. There we go. Okay. Shout out to Combo for being on Knicks Fan TV the other night. I've never seen him laugh so hard when someone suggested Mo Diawara could be the next KD. Coach should jump on sometime. I feel like I've been on Knicks Fan TV, haven't I?
With me. Yeah, yes. We did a collaboration.
There's a few Knicks channels out there, and I sometimes can't always keep them straight which one is which when I go on them. But you have me, I'll go on Knicks Fan TV for sure. I love it. I love the Knicks stuff. Explain to me, Combo, why they're not always coalescing on YouTube and like leading to huge views. My Knicks stuff doesn't really always do it. I don't know why.
Well, Knicks Fan TV gets nice views, and they get good engagement, and they do live shows in the city. They're doing really well. Shouts to CP. But to this comment specifically, man, this guy's comment was hilarious. By the way, Mo had a great game, and he has a lot of potential, and there's a lot to work with there. I think he's probably going to get a lot of G League minutes. But he said, KD already. He says Mo already has the height like KD. All he needs is the handle in the mid range, and he's KD. And we were just like, what is going on? Like, is this guy serious?
Right?
And he had some good points before then. And I was like, what? And it was funny. I mean, yeah.
No, but don't forget, if you want us to answer your question and react and give you a lot of hype and love, thank you so much, Endgame, for that.
Yeah, and thank you, Endgame, for tuning into Knicks Fan TV and watching me go to work. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, love it to have it be here. And then you can actually get involved on the playback side too and be in that the local chat there as well. And then we're going to be doing watch parties and watching games and stuff like that too. So make sure to come over to playback and subscribe to B-Ball Breakdown there, because we want to have a nice big audiences, which we have in the past. And they're really fun. So I'll do that. I've been talking to some other guests who are going to come on. So we'll have a good time. So either way, Mo Diawara is probably not the next KD, probably not going to get any minutes this year behind everybody on that roster as it is. But always nice to see somebody do well and get some, look like they belong.
Get some KD comps.
Yeah, right. KD comps. It's not easy to get that these days. But who is the next KD? We haven't really had another.
It's starting to feel like almost Wemby is a combination of KD and Shaq, and he's 7'5".
Yeah. And
Jokic. He's like a hub too now. I was watching a little bit. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, listen, he's going to be the greatest of all time.
Wow.
We started seeing him bully guys. It's like, oh my gosh, if he's going to do that, then, he doesn't even have to like really jump to dunk it. So it's like, and he's growing. He's going to be 7'8".
He's getting into this bag where he gets into pump fakes from like right inside the 3-point line, and he's getting layups.
Yeah, right.
That's the thing. Step through.
One step. Really.
It's crazy.
And he had a step through off of 1 foot, and everyone wanted to go nuts because they don't realize that a 1-footed step through is legal.
He makes like the most talented players in the world just look like little kids sometimes. Like with what he's doing.
And that's why I'm telling you he's gonna be the GOAT. In fact, I have that. Let me see if I can find it. Is this it right here? I have the let me do it this way. Let me show you that 1-footed, because it's like we're having these weird. It's not everybody, but there's enough people who are online who are looking at the stuff on Twitter and like want to complain that a 1-footed step through is illegal. And you know what? Let's just go through. I know for the people listening to this later as a pod, it might be a little bit different, but let's just go through it as quickly as we can, because I want to just make it impress upon everybody why this is legal, what this move is. Can you see this combo?
No,
Jackson.
Oh, you don't see the let's try that again. It's like it takes us twice before it'll do it.
There you go.
Now?
Yep.
Okay, so explain that one. All right. So here I'll turn the thing off. So here he goes. He goes baseline. Look, he's doing his bag tween. Now watch. Left foot is a pivot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Steps off of 1 foot and jumps. Now you can see who is this over here? This is Obi Toppin, I think, losing his mind, thinking it should be a travel, I guess. Now, the thing is, I don't have the replay in here? Oh, son of a gun. I have it somewhere else. But anyway, so look, he ends the dribble, left foot's down there, and the right foot had
look where he is.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's like 18 feet out. Now, the only thing you can argue is that as he steps with the right foot back here, he can take as many steps as he likes with his right foot. That's the non-pivot. The left foot might move a little bit right here. See that?
Yeah, but it's probably easier for me to say, but I wouldn't jump that hard on that pump fake. I don't know.
Yeah, but either way, but look at the left foot. He will pivot on the heel. That is totally legal. So you know what? I actually gave somebody the benefit of the doubt, like maybe he slid the foot a little bit, but looking at it like this from this angle, I don't think he slid it. He just, maybe there's an inch, but there's no way a referee could be certain in real time that if it moved an inch or not. So he's really just pivoting on his heel, which you're totally allowed to do. You pivot on your heel, pivot on your ball of your foot. And then he just lifts.
Well, let me ask you a question. Can you change it?
That's where the pivot foot comes back down. That's all he did.
Can you change it from your heel to your toe, or is that a travel?
So you on the same axis, you could go back and forth as long as the foot, like that's how referee Chip was on my show oftentimes talks about it, where you can how do I get out of a screen share? Okay, where you can kind of like the notion is sort of rock back and forth as long as the foot's not turning side to side. So I have a shoe I can show. No, and so you can rock kind of up and back from your heel to your toe as long as the foot is not you're not trying to go side and wiggle your way across.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of leeway there, but other than that, yeah, that's all he did, and so that's totally legal. And so what was frustrating is some people would say they would refuse to acknowledge you can jump off of 1 foot on the step through, but then after we showed them the rule and went back and forth and explained, finally like, well. He moved his pivot foot earlier. That's the travel. And I'm like, that's not what you were talking about. We were, you're just trying to refuse to accept what we told you. And now you're trying to jump at something else. And it's just not how you should be having a discussion anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. That play is crazy though. And it's totally legal from my perspective. It's crazy totally play.
Legal. You don't have to say from my perspective, Combo.
Okay. There you go.
It's
brevity.
And guess what? It's totally legal at every level of basketball. You can do that in 6th grade basketball, and it's legal.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I concur.
And the reason why people didn't think it was legal is because some idiot coach in 1980 started telling everybody that they had to jump off of 2 feet when you do a step through. Now, maybe that idiot coach had seen it called a travel on a bad call and then decided, well, that must be what the rule is without ever really paying attention to it. But meanwhile, the damage was done for decades, and we're trying to undo it now.
Okay. Fair enough.
Let's see here. What else we want to talk about then? I mean, so do we kind of wrap that up with Cat as far as, he's in the corner a lot. He's kind of marginalized, not getting touches, not interacting as much with Brunson. I did see one quick pick and roll that was sort of out of, organic offense early, but I think he rejected it and didn't even get a chance to have any effect on the defense. So, I mean, they should be feeding him on the high post. They should be running 2-man game with him and Brunson, like several times a quarter. It's just, I don't understand why he's not getting in there and shaping it better.
I wonder why, it was an issue with Tibbs that they weren't playing enough 2-man game, that they're kind of their own entity. And we thought with Mike Brown, we'd see more 2-man game.
Yeah. So you have to wonder if maybe there's something there. I saw a report and I wanted to go through that game where they said that Mike Brown did not make one play call.
That's a fact.
So
no, they all admitted it too.
Okay. So if that's the case and they're playing in space and they're just kind of, running their actions, then there's something off there, because that's when Cat could be like, yeah, come over here, or I'm going to you, I'm screening for you, or give me the ball and we'll do a little get action, something. Yeah. But that's when when Mike Brown's got to step in, and you got to I'm all for when I ran the triangle offense. I didn't call a play ever. They just ran their action.
Martin makes an interesting point. That Malcolm Brogdon thing was interesting. How he just retired, and I watched him play that game right before he retired. He was playing hard.
Something else, I think. Don't you?
Well, I think from what I hear about Malcolm Brogdon, he's kind of like a Malcolm Brogdon guy. if that makes sense.
I mean, he's the mayor, right? Or there's no question.
No, but yeah, I think. I mean, I don't have. This is not from inside information. I think he probably didn't appreciate what his role was going to be on this team. What do you think?
That's interesting. That could be it. I mean, I'm trying to think of what it was going to be, because what was his role going to be? He'd be behind Deuce,
10th man, probably.
Yeah. But that would have been a thing he would have figured out before he even got there, right? And that's just part of that decision, right?
Yeah.
Wait, did he sign or did they trade him? Now I'm forgetting how he got there. Do we remember?
No, sign. Yeah, sign.
Yeah. So that was like his choice, and it was like, what did you think? You're going to be behind, Brunson. You're going to be behind McBride.
Well, I when you're on such a bad Wizards team, you're like, I just want to go to a situation where I can win a championship, and then once you're there, you start to see the vibes of what's going on. How much they value you.
It could be, he's just breaking down. Like you say, he played hard, he was moving, but he hasn't played hardly any games the last several years in a way that and for a lot of reasons. But I don't know. I would wonder if there's some other interesting story to that that maybe will come out, maybe not.
Well, did you hear anything? You don't have to say
anything.
Okay.
I just think that on the eve of the give it a shot, play like a week, play like a couple weeks, then retire. Right?
Well, that was his week in preseason.
I mean, okay, I wouldn't. How can preseason be?
Actually, the thing was he was gonna get more minutes in preseason than he was during the season for sure, especially when everybody was healthy.
Yeah. Well, something is screwy there. I don't know what. I think that there might be something to that, but but again, it could very well just be.
Are we starting to figure out something with this Knicks team? The Brunson comments, the Cat comments, which are more apparent. Brogdon retiring. I don't know.
It could be ironed out. Mike Brown could help figure that out, but who knows? Like, can Mike Brown do that? Is he the guy to kind of do that? I don't know.
Oh, here's a question: how did he have Fox and Sabonis playing so well together? Like, what was he doing there that they could replicate with Cat and Brunson?
That now you're talking about an interesting take. I don't know. I mean, it's personalities and stuff, but I don't know. In my mind, it would have been like he had a little bit more control over the offense. He was like, okay, get to the high post. You're going to feed him here. I mean, I've seen him run practices like that where he does that. So if they're not listening, it's a problem. And if he's not doing it, it's a problem. But that's all he needs to do. I mean, certainly, I'm very familiar with how you'd want to install an offense that it's more organic like that. That's when you have to kind of start to chisel in there and say, okay, you got to start on the same side of the floor. And then we're going to look to just swing it to you right away, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that action.
Here's another interesting thing. Like, there was problems with Tibbs. Now, if there's problems with Mike Brown, these are two really good coaches. Like, are these players just not coachable?
I mean, it's hard to imagine you say anything like Jalen Brunson's not coachable. It doesn't seem to make sense. Karl-Anthony Towns, like, maybe you can kind of get in there, although I'm sure they're not like defiant into the coach or anything like that. No. But if you mean like they just can't sort of follow what the coach is telling.
Like, I mean, it would be too good. And this is very early. They might have a great season. I predict them to win the championship, actually. But I'm just saying, like, if this all happens over again, it's like, okay, is it the coach?
Very good point.
Yeah.
So keep your eye on that.
Yeah.
Russ gets signed. I think that had broke right before we went live the last time, and we haven't had a chance to really see him. I don't think he didn't play.
Well, he laughed when they asked if this was his last season. Like, that was a crazy question.
Oh, I didn't see that. What did he say?
He was like, "Yeah, right."
Oh, okay.
If somebody in the comment section has like his exact quote, but I think that was his quote.
Okay. Well, we'll have to get your own Weitzman on the show because he's just putting out a book about the Lakers season, the 22-23 season when Russ was there. And if you it was on the Ringer today, they did an excerpt from the book. Did you happen to see that? I think maybe I sent it to you. But
you said it to me. It was long though. Tell me more about it. I read a little bit.
It was long. I ain't gonna read all that. But I feel I'm sorry about that happened, or I'm happy for you. Anyway, basically, They clearly LeBron and Russ were not meshing well at all.
I saw Summer League. They didn't say hi to each other, right?
Yeah. Well, and then the year before they were like sitting together, right? And I remember that. Like, I had forgotten that when he's described, it was like, oh yeah, that was the thing where they were on opposite sides of Thomas and Mack and like never crossed. Meanwhile, everyone else is going up to LeBron and saying hello, and it was probably the thing where LeBron was not going to go to Russ to say hello. It was on Russ to have to go to him. You got the sense that, Russ felt like he was on the same level as AD and LeBron.
Some interesting, sorry, not to cut you off, some interesting things from the Stephen A. Smith Carmelo conversation where Stephen A. Smith didn't exactly say that LeBron tried to get him out of there, but it's kind of like,
that's what this book is basically gonna say. And we could kind of tell, even there was that moment.
Wait, what book? What book? The Weitzman book?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, so he has stuff about Stephen A. Smith too?
Well, no, but he's got everything about like how AD and LeBron. First of all, I mean, they alluded to it. So I'm assuming in some other chapter, because it's only an excerpt, that I think LeBron and AD were the ones who tried to got Russ there. It wasn't.
Oh no, I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith. He was trying to get Stephen A. Smith out of there. I think he didn't say it. He's like, I'm not going to speak on it, but you kind of could.
Oh, he's trying to get Stephen A. Smith fired.
Yeah, he didn't want to say, like, they asked him directly on the pod. He's like, I'm not going to say anything, but you could do your own thinking, basically.
But the Stephen A. Smith and LeBron thing is all about Bronny, right?
Yeah, but I heard it goes now. Stephen A. saying it's from years ago now.
Oh,
that, like they didn't like each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I can see that too. But and I thought that Stephen A. I'm not like the biggest fan, but I feel like he was relatively fair about the Bronny stuff anyway. But and we're going to see again, like I had said, I don't see anything about Bronny's game that's translated better this year. So we'll see. But anyway, so the whole thing with Russ was like, Will Smith came to talk to him, and then LeBron and AD leave before he comes into the locker room. And I think Russ was about to leave too, and Pat Bev had to say, no, you don't leave. Like, we all have to be here to sit with Will Smith, who's going to come visit the team. And Russ, they made it seem like Russ thought, oh, well, if AD and LeBron get to leave, well, then I get to leave too, because I'm an all-star and I'm all these things. So that was, I think, a slap in the face to Russ. But there was that footage of Russ on the bench toward the end of the season where it really felt like he went over to LeBron and AD, who were also on the bench. And it just felt like he was like, please don't have me traded. I don't want to leave again. I like LA or whatever it was. Like, you got that serious vibe. And, meanwhile, that's what was happening, I think, behind the scenes. But he was not playing well. It wasn't like, he wasn't helping them. And I don't think he's going to do much to help a team. Like, Sacramento, who knows what they're going to try and do? Are they trying to win right now?
Supposedly. DeMar wanted him there for a while now.
Okay. I think that they're going to find out that, he decision-making.
The West is tough. The West is tough. Yeah. The West is tough.
Yeah. And by the way, and someone even got on me because I said he ranked 45th out of 49 finishing at the rim. And that's including, and that's minimum 200 shots. So that includes all the big guys who are probably dunking a lot of shots, right? So it's not necessarily fair to lump him in with all those guys. Is that a good statement?
Fair.
Right. It is fair because you know what? He was right. Look, I shouldn't be rating Russ like to Clint Capella. Like, they shouldn't be in the same batch. But I did go on Synergy, and they have 3 different categories that kind of encapsulate, what the kind of player Russ would be, which would be, point guard, ball handling guard, and then ball handling scorer, I think, whatever those are. So there's 25 of those players, and he was 20th in field goal percentage at the rim. So, again, he misses easy shots around the rim, and that's part of the problem. And my point was with Denver was, since they are competing for a title without question, they just can't have a role player coming off the bench who's that erratic. That's all. The Kings are not competing for a title. Is that safe to say?
Yep.
So Russ fits better there, right? Anyway, he probably will sell tickets, right? I'm assuming they have analytics right now that they can press a button and say, oh, we're going to get X amount of extra money from Russ being there and people want to go see him. Then it's worth it.
You think Russ is still a draw?
Probably, right? And he might be a draw. Like, this might be his last season, right? We want to see.
Yeah, in a smaller market, he might be more of a draw, right, than other places.
Yeah, right. That's interesting. And again, everybody has those analytics. They'd be able to know right away. I'm sure you can plug in some stuff and figure that out. Maybe a smaller market, yeah, maybe, but unclear exactly. Let's get to Alan Tran, friend of the Breakdown. So great to see you, Alan. Thank you so much for the super chat. And again, if you want your question answered, that's the way to do it. Go on YouTube and do the super chat there. Alan says, at this point, Giannis to New York Knicks is getting likely. So we kind of missed that little part of the story here with the Cat stuff. Would Milwaukee would Cat be some sort of consolation prize for them if they have to put together a big package?
I don't like the Brunson Giannis fit.
Oh, now that's interesting.
Yeah. Look, it didn't really work with Dame, and Dame is better off ball than Brunson.
Okay. Did it not work, or does Dame,
Oh, yeah, Dame was injured. but it wasn't seamless from the beginning. And I think Dame is underrated off ball. Brunson really isn't that great of an off ball player. He's just not.
Yeah, that is true. Okay. So it might, and like you said earlier, it might end up coming down to like fit. Like it's just Cat and Brunson.
You might have to trade. You might have to trade Brunson.
Oh wow! I mean, Brunson is a fixture, isn't he? Like you couldn't trade him now. The Cat would be tradable. Like I don't think Knicks fans would rip their clothes and
very fair what you're saying. Knicks fans would go crazy.
Right. Now, we know that Giannis wants out. And so Milwaukee doesn't want to be left without, anything getting back. But he's under contract for a couple of years, at least. I'll go check that in a second. But so like they don't really have to do anything. But, it's tough when you have a superstar like Giannis who doesn't want to be there. It tends to be like, okay, let's see what we can get. And if they got Cat and they got they'd have to get another really good.
You think they get OG or Mikal with Cat, and then does that still make sense for the Knicks?
Okay, so that'd be crazy, but yeah, it'd have to be Cat. Like let's just say Bridges and a pick, right? At least one first round.
And honestly, Bridges is going to have a better season this year than last. So it's like, wow, you're giving up a lot.
What are you seeing in the preseason that let you think that?
He looks happier. He's going to the basket more. He's playing better.
Hands more.
Yeah, the ball's in his hands. All that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I want to see what he's shooting from three. I was looking at some of the mechanics hanging in the air a little bit still. It's better than it was when it started last season. If we remember, that hitch was terrible. So that's good. But I don't know. I saw him hit a couple, but I saw him airball a couple. And I'm like, oh, this might be a problem.
No, I think he'll be all right. I think he looks good. He looks good overall. He looks good.
And he is good, and so he should be able to have an impact offensively either way. Anyway, so that's what it would have to look like. And again, I don't know if Milwaukee is in a hurry to do that kind of a deal either way and get Cat back. But if you got Cat, he's a 25 a game scorer. He can shoot.
And then Cat Miles Turner, isn't Miles Turner just Cat not as good? I don't know.
Yeah, he's Cat who doesn't really dribble.
Yeah, he doesn't attack closeouts like Cat. He doesn't shoot.
Yeah. But actually, I could picture Turner actually throwing a nice pass here and there.
No. Yeah, that's fine. They're just not a fit either. I don't know, man.
Here's what probably is the problem. If you really looked at it closely, Cat is best as a center on offense, but he'll kill you on the defensive end playing that position.
Yes.
And so I get why they want Mitchell Robinson out there.
He won't kill you. He won't kill you if the other best player is in Brunson.
He won't kill you defensively?
If he's the 5, but you have a good 4 defensively and a great scheme, it'll be all right. Like we saw with Minnesota. It was good. I guess Rudy was the 5 though, right? Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but you put OG out there next to him, who's a great forward, defensively, and I don't know. I feel like I've seen that. And we've seen, Cat just sort of be ineffective on that end.
Well, Brunson's playing a lot of those minutes, though.
Yeah, and then Brunson is going to get, abused a little bit too. So that's a problem. And so then that begs the question of how can Cat fit in? Where can he has to just get better defensively, right? Like that's his answer.
I mean, next to Mitch, it'll be good. Hopefully, Mitch stays healthy.
But then he doesn't get the same thing on offense. Then he's not as effective. And then is he worth it? Is Cat worth it when you can't get the most?
Why don't you think he could be effective with Mitch?
Why can't he?
Yeah, on offense, he could be effective.
Listen, Mike Brown has to step in pretty soon and start calling some plays, and then
it could work though. Obviously, it could work with Mitch and Cat offensively. It'll definitely work defensively.
And it worked in the playoffs, right? Mitch was killing everybody on the offensive boards and was out of the way. Other than that, and but we still didn't see what? If we go back, what do you think of the numbers for Cat are going to be in the playoffs? Where they were not as great as they would have been in the regular season. Is that safe to say?
Say that again.
I think that Cat didn't play as well offensively in the playoffs. But
against the Pistons, it was good. Against some of the other series, it was not good.
Last year, let's go through the numbers real quick while we have him up here. He was 24.4 points a game, 13 rebounds, 3.1 assists. And then you go to the playoffs, and it was 21.4, so 3 points less. By the way, there should be a little bit of, in the playoffs, numbers go down. It's a little bit more of a drop than you would think. But and then by the way, I bet you his minutes went. Well, that's interesting. He played the same. He played 35 minutes a game in the regular season and played 35.5 in the playoffs. So it's another one of those things where he probably, Tibbs probably played him too much in the regular. He should have been 35 isn't. It's about okay, 34, and then maybe he should have played a few more minutes in the playoffs per game. So we'll have to keep our eye on it and see how that develops. But what else are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about. You want to talk about MVPs, that kind of stuff?
Cade Cunningham.
You think Cade Cunningham? I saw some highlights the other night. It looked good. He's throwing some good dimes. He was like controlling the game. You think he's going to finish better at the rim this year?
We're not doing okay. We could go back 2 episodes ago because we're not doing this conversation again, Coach Nick.
All right. You really think he could be the worst in the league at the rim? And
he's
win
not the worst He's not the worst in the league.
You think he could be the lowest field goal percentage at the rim in the league and be MVP?
He's not the. I don't. He's not the lowest.
Why are you saying he's not the lowest field goal percentage when he was?
So he has the lowest field goal percentage finishing around the rim in the entire NBA.
Yeah, minimum 200 shots.
There we go. You keep adding context.
Well, okay, I'm not going to do a guy who played 5 games in the last year. He doesn't count.
Yes, I think he'll win.
There's 100 players that took
I think he's a very great player that does a lot of things well and leads his team and did more with less than anybody else in the NBA. And he's a great point guard at 6'6", could score at 3 levels, even though you're saying he can't finish. I love his game. He's a great leader, great player.
Yeah, all those things are true. Everything can be true. He could be all the things you said. He is the last in the league in field goal percentage at the rim. And then again, I think most people would agree with me. If he was like in the mid, if he was 50th percentile in the middle of that all, then
great. Some of it, somebody made a great point last episode in the comments or 2 episodes ago that, they're all collapsing on him too,
I guess the only reason why I even noticed it was when I was digging through hundreds of clips of him and I saw him missing shots he shouldn't be missing. So maybe they're collapsing on him too, but
you could find shots of finishes. Like he has the rocker step off the jab. He gets to the rim. I seen him dunk on Mikal Bridges. He could finish.
That's the Russ thing. Russ would dunk on somebody. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, he's incredible!" But it turns out his field goal percentage was very average.
Right. Him and Dame don't have the highest field goal percentages, but Russ was an MVP and Dame's an all-time great.
Right, but Russ tended to be around average at the rim. Okay.
Well, also
where Cade is.
But how about everything else that Cade does better than Russ?
Well, we're not comparing Russ in terms of Russ won the MVP and he's whatever. I'm just trying to tell you that when Russ finishes, and he wasn't, he's a very average finisher at the rim anyway, but that is okay. That gets into the conversation where he should be MVP, not when you're last. That's the real crux of the matter here. And that at the rim is really so much of what we're talking about in terms of a dominant player who is really good and can really, save the team and put them on their back and all the things that you want him to be able to do. That is it.
He obviously did put that team on his back, no matter what any stat says. If you watch the season and look how far that team went with a roster that was not crazy at all,
Well, yeah, we should give a little bit more credit. You didn't want to give as much credit to that roster. I thought that there was some spots there that
Cade did a lot. Cade carried that was an impressive run for that roster with Cade Cunningham being the leader. It was impressive. Nobody thought they would go that far, especially with a Jaden Ivey injury.
And by the way, I'm sure he'll improve his.
Yeah, he'll improve on it. That's my MVP. So who's your MVP?
Okay. Oh, really? Okay. You think he's gonna be an MVP this year?
Yes.
Wow. I don't know. Jokic could come back and have a resurgence. They've restocked.
To go one.
Yeah, with Bruce Brown around him again, and
Tim Hardaway Jr. They took Cade's guy.
Who?
Tim Hardaway Jr. is on the Denver.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, right. Tim Hardaway, who they get him, dial him in the right role, he could be helpful. He hasn't been able to find that. He tends to go a little ahead of his skis too often, but that might be a good spot for him to really do it. And he won't get too much time, so it'd be good for him. And then you have Cam Johnson replacing MPJ, which I think is a terrific upgrade for them in terms of physicality without the back issues.
Did they have the best offseason? I actually want to release a clip about this tomorrow.
Yeah, who else would have had better than them?
Let me ask you a question. Is this the end of the offseason, or is before preseason the end of the offseason?
Oh, I would say the preseason is the new season,
Wow. Okay.
right? Preseason is the start of the new season. When you say,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
yeah. So Houston, getting Durant has to be up there as well. We're talking about who had the best offseason in terms of acquisitions.
Wow. Yeah.
But I mean, listen, I like what Denver did, and now they have a new coach. We'll have to see, or we'll have to see how that's going to work with them as well. What's interesting about the Russ thing, as I'm reading the thing about how they made a mention that Vogel lost his job over Russ, which I think was interesting. And Mike Malone, the reporting is that was a big part of why Mike Malone got fired as well, because of Russ. So that's interesting as well. So we'll find out what happens. Now, Doug Christie just got there, didn't follow up by 3 the other game, which I don't know, but that's indicative of how he's going to coach it normally. But and to his, in all fairness, there was like 10 seconds to go when they inbounded it, so it was a little bit early. But I think, and then he kind of caught it and shot it, but they let him tie it up. So anyway, we'll see how Christie goes. But again, I don't think that the Kings are sort of I don't think that they're positioning themselves to make a title run. Rookie coach, although we've seen rookie coaches in the past win. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what we could segue to. Your video, Steph Curry.
Yeah.
When everybody's complaining that there's not enough defense, why would this be a point of emphasis?
Well, I mean, because they've been complaining, and I know they've been complaining for a long time about whacking Steph's hand. I kind of forgot he had an injury to his hand.
Oh, it's like a legacy protector, basically. Like,
well, no, I think it's an injury protector, and other guys too. Because when you start whacking really hard, and that's what Dylan Brooks was doing, and he kind of acknowledged it.
And also that's not bad. Also, that's not basketball. So I like the rule. Yeah,
right. Because like the rule was, high five rule. If there's contact with the hand after the release, then it's not a foul. Great. There's nothing about how hard that contact has to be or how soft it has to be. So
right.
It just, they wanted to, if there's a secondary motion, and you see Brooks did it all throughout that series. It was not good.
Look for the movement shooters. Look for the movement shooters to have good seasons outside of Steph, because that's a big difference.
Well, and as a result, Steph got 3 foul calls on 3-point shooting. Now
and he did the shimmy after the foul, as you said in your video.
Yeah, right, because he was so excited they got it. Now, what's probably going to happen is the players will just simply be better at contesting. If you hold your hand out and up and not be propelling it at the shooter's hand, and there's contact, that's still going to be legal, right? And that's safe for their shot. So ideally, defensively, as you're looking at this, you really want to contest where you're getting to the hand right when it's released, right? Just a split second after the ball's out of his hand, and boom, you're right there. Maybe you can't quite follow through all the way, but that's okay if you're not overtly swiping at that hand hard. So that to me would be the best way to do it, because even though it's out of your hand, you still need to be able to follow through to really feel good about that shot.
100%. It's a mental thing. You're gonna have more confidence as a shooter if you know they can't hit your hand as well.
Right, but remember, they can hit your hand legally. They just can't hit it really hard. They can't swipe at it. But there's something to that where, because Steph hurt his hand, he's probably going to be like, I don't want to hit it again. There might be some subconscious motion to that release that screws it up a little bit because of that. That said, he shot 39% against Houston in that series. So even that's how good he is, right? Didn't even matter that they were doing that and they were whacking his hand. He still was shooting almost pretty much an elite percentage on ridiculously high volume. And it was the biggest reason why, the Warriors were able to overcome the Rockets, who couldn't match the number of threes.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a good lesson for, you have a good team like the Rockets, right? And they could have beaten the Warriors, no problem. But because they didn't shoot well, it caused all sort of havoc. They had a hard time scoring against the Warriors.
All right, another segue, the height of the Rockets lineup. It has never worked before in NBA history when you go with this big of a lineup. People have tried it in the past. I think the Mavericks tried it once, but it was later in the season with Sean Bradley and Dirk in them. This is early in the season. I don't know if they're going to go this way the whole time, or they'll add Reed Shepherd into the starting lineup, who had a huge game, by the way, Coach Dick, but you're still not sold on Reed Shepherd, but I think he's the next Steve Nash. But anyway, to stay on topic, what do you think about this lineup of 6'7" and up, with Amen Thompson playing point guard?
Well, I love it. Wait, so run me through, because I wanted to look at that lineup you're talking about it, because you're not including Reed Shepherd.
No,
because
he's not in it. He's coming off the
we're
bench.
talking about Şengün.
Steven Adams, Kevin Durant, Jabari Smith, I believe. And Amen Thompson.
Okay, and then Amen.
And it might not be Steven Adams. Sorry, it might be somebody else. But yeah,
right. I mean, that's an interesting line because remember when you if you're dominating the boards, especially on the offensive end, that's when you get kickouts for threes, and that's good. Like that's what you want to be able to do. And they were able to show how much they could hurt the Warriors by doing that and playing that big. And it could very well just be like, we're going back to, two bigs again kind of lineups, right? Where, Adams and Şengün, I mean, those are big bigs,
okay, somebody wrote it out. Thompson, KD. Yeah, that's basically what I said.
I love Jabari Smith Jr. too. So yeah, do they need a traditional point guard? Is the question. Maybe, so just like you always have these persistent positions, and you always have guys like the Chris Pauls, whatever. They don't ever quite go away. I would think that they might need to have somebody who can kind of have a little bit more of a control over the game. Hey, we need, KD hasn't shot for a couple minutes. We've got to get him a shot. Get down there, screen. I'm going to deliver it to him perfectly. Amen doesn't do that, right? He doesn't exist on the floor as a player like that. And don't sleep on Aaron Holiday. Aaron Holiday is also really good and could play that role too as a smaller guard. I'm all for interesting stuff like that. And so if they want to try it, for sure they should and see how that works. I think that they could make it work again because you're,
definitely
a lot of skill.
I think it could work in the regular season, but I also think that you're right in the sense, especially in the playoffs, you need somewhat of a floor general out there, right? Like, especially because, I don't know if it's a myth or not, but it does feel like playoffs slow down a little bit and get more into the half court in nail biting situations.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's still a thing, even though people try to disprove that, it still goes up and down. But I think that I'd be interested to see because again, to control the boards is a really important thing still in this game. Even though if you're shooting a lot of threes, like if you're getting out rebounded and you're turning the ball over a lot, but you're hitting a lot more threes, that's okay. That balances out. Whereas back in the day when the 3-point shot wasn't as much of a focus, if you give up a whole bunch of offensive boards, like you're just going to lose. Like that's it. You can't do nothing to do.
Mikel says nobody wins without elite PG play, but if you think about it, the OKC Thunder had no pure point guard.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say SGA would be the elite play.
I know he's an elite guard, obviously, but he doesn't play like a traditional point guard.
Right. I mean, not even like MJ would average like 6 or 6.5 assists per game. He probably is somewhere in that realm too, but he still doesn't really pass it.
Yeah.
But and like I said, he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. Like you have to have him in that conversation.
Better than Prime Harden.
Better than Prime Harden. Oh well, I mean he's certainly as enraging as Prime Harden was with the stuff. But yeah, I think he's every bit as good as that, and maybe better. He's more explosive, right, and more shifty than even Harden was. Harden was really great, like stopping on a dime, and that stuff.
Harden is a way better passer.
Harden is a way better passer, but we're not talking about scoring.
That's true. You're right.
Right. So we're talking about scoring. SGA is has to be top 5 in my mind. He will be. He'll go down in the top 5.
Okay.
So we'll see. Now does Harden go down as top 5? That's interesting.
He's a top 5 point guard and top 5 shooting guard of all time.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to have a different. I think we're gonna have to have top 5 of like the positions have to change. You have to have a very strict categories, right? Because like, where does Larry Bird fit into that?
Small forward. Larry Bird's a small forward.
Yeah, but he needs to be in that conversation of offensive player.
He's the best small forward outside of LeBron James ever.
Okay. So yeah, but and then that's factoring in passing and just overall impact on the game and that kind of stuff. So gravity, all those things. You got to kind of figure out ways to do this because maybe it's not fair to have Bird and then SGA being compared together in the same category. So I don't know, but so that's
Mikel now says. Let me allow Mikel to have his comment read since I replied to his comment. When I say point guard, I'm talking about elite ball handler, not a traditional point guard. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly need that. You need someone who can under pressure bring the ball up, and handle it.
But you have Chet. You have Chet, who's like a great guy as a hub who could pass a little bit, and then you have Caruso, who's kind of like could do some point guard type duties, you know.
Yeah,
And Hardenstein, and then Hardenstein's another hub, so you got a lot like around him, you know.
And Hardenstein didn't get a lot of, down in the playoffs. They really limited his minutes, and I get it, matchups, yada yada. But they really need to figure out how to utilize him better because he's so good on the high post and passing. And they kind of forgot about that, went away from it, and that's too bad. It makes him better when he's doing that. And I think they got a little bit nervous and like, oh, we got to match up differently here. But I think they should stick with it a little bit more deeper in those playoffs because they'll definitely be in the conference finals this year without question. And the question then is who's going to be on the opposite them on the Eastern Conference too. So you want to do a little prediction there while we're talking about on the East of the regular season?
West and East.
The conference finals. What's the matchups going to be?
Oh, of the conference finals or of the finals?
Conference finals. What are the four? What's the final four?
I mean, OKC, Denver, if I had to guess.
OKC, Denver. Yeah, I like it.
Knicks, Cavs.
Okay, Knicks, Cavs. And by the way, everyone can see us, right? I'm just kind of monitoring this, and I don't see us in the back end on YouTube, but everyone must be.
Well, we're
seeing
getting a lot. We're getting a lot of YouTube
seeing us, right? They're not just hearing us.
We're getting a lot of YouTube comments. I know that.
Yeah. All right. Well, give me a little comment. Let me know you can see me waving at you right now. So, anyway, what were we saying? So you think it's so I like what you're at OKC Denver. I like that. But man, like it's going to be tough. Warriors could be there. The Lakers.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Look, the West is tough. I'm not. Yeah, the West is tough.
All right. So let's go back over to the.
And we just talked about the Rockets. So
Yeah, and I really like the Rockets when they had Fred VanVleet, but
you have to pick somebody. And like I'm not betting against Jokic this year. I don't.
Yeah. All right. So the East. What did you say again?
So I like OKC Knicks. I said OKC Knicks. I like OKC Denver, and I like Knicks Cavs. Yeah,
I like the Cavs. I think the Cavs are going to be ready for it. I mean, I guess we're just going to – oh, you know what people are sleeping on? I got to go through the footage, though. For whatever reason, Boston snuck by me, but they have Anthony Simons.
Yeah, he's good.
He's really good. He might fit in better than Tatum. Anthony Simons.
Wait.
To the offense.
All right.
Tatum.
He might fit, but could they be a better basketball team with him over Tatum?
Offensively, he might end up like the ball might move better. He can shoot threes really well. He can create too and stuff. There might be something to that. You can guarantee I'm going to keep my eye on that for right now. And the point being that Boston could be more competitive. Now, the only problem is they lost Horford, right, which was a killer. And they also lost KP.
Clip this. This is the hook. Will the Celtics be better without Jason Tatum?
There might be something to that. I'm just saying, it hit me the other day where I'm like, gosh, I got to go through that footage and see. But Simons attacks in the catch a little bit more. And like, there might be a little bit more flow. Maybe Jaylen Brown, vibes off of that better. There might be something there. So just keep your eye on there. You don't think they're starting him? I don't know why the Boston Celtics have eluded my eyes this preseason, but I can't believe who's starting ahead of him.
Maybe they are thinking to the future where they're going to bring Tatum back and he could be their six man.
Oh, right. Just kind of get him locked in early.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I can't believe they do that. But, unless something changed about Simons that I don't know about, that guy.
This guy, VJ Edgecombe, is good, man.
Yeah. Pritchard starting. Okay. All right. I got to get my eyeballs on some Celtics because I don't want to get ahead of my skis.
Who's a better basketball player, Peyton Pritchard or Anthony Simons?
Ooh. Who's better? Like Pritchard's skill level. I mean, but they're both skilled, really skilled. I don't know. I mean, Simons might have a little bit more of an advantage because he's taller.
He's more athletic too, and Pritchard's a good and Pritchard's a good athlete, but Anthony Simons is
Yeah. I mean, you're kind of I don't know. That's a good question. Because again, Pritchard, man, is a beast, and he is a monster. So I don't know. That's a good question. We'll find out, and we'll find out how it fits in the offense. I mean, Pritchard has had his struggles to get on the court too, inexplicably for a lot of those years, right? I think he's finally settled that they got him in his role, right, where he knows he's getting time, he's going to play a lot. So that's good. But remember, there were times in the past where he wasn't getting enough playing time in my mind when he had proven, every year that he could do it. So anyhow, I think we're ready to wrap it up. What do you say, Combo?
Let's wrap it up.
All righty. Well, thanks everybody for out there for the super chat. Sorry for the little bit of the in the beginning and the restart of the show, but we'll get it figured out, and we'll go from there. We'll be back again really soon, if not next Monday, right?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here, and don't forget, sports fans, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in? Are you in, Combo?
Yes, sir.